They actually called the cops on me for parking my own boat on my own lake, on my own property. I wish I was joking. And the craziest part? The woman who made that call had no idea I'd just sold my tech company for $47 million and that she was about to turn her little HOA power trip into the most expensive mistake of her life. It was 7 a.m., mist hanging low over the water like something out of a country song, my coffee still hot in my hand. My 24-foot bass boat bobbed gently against the dock engine, ticking as it cooled down from a sunrise fishing run. I remember thinking, this is it. This is peace. Then I heard gravel crunching. 3 sheriff's deputies walking toward me, boots, heavy hands resting just a little too close to their belts. And across the lake, I kid you not, Linda Hartwell, HOA, president of Lakeside Estates, standing on her deck, pointing at me like she was directing artillery fire. The lead deputy cleared his throat. "Sir, we've received a complaint about illegal boat operation. I nearly spit coffee all over my dock. Illegal on my own lake." That's how it started. 6 months earlier, I'd cashed out of Silicon Valley. 15 years building cybersecurity companies, sleeping under desks, living on cold brew and adrenaline. Microsoft acquired my last company, wired me $47 million, and suddenly I didn't have to chase the next funding round ever again. All I wanted was quiet. Land. Water. No meetings. So I bought 50 acres outside Austin. 8-acre private lake. Old oak trees that looked like they'd been standing since dinosaurs were filing paperwork. The previous owner, an old rancher named Bill Thompson, handed me the keys and said one thing: watch them pushy neighbors in that subdivision. They think they own the whole county. I laughed. I shouldn't have. The first time I launched my boat, the smell of diesel mixing with pine and lake water hit me like freedom. I hadn't breathed like that in years. 20 minutes in, I see this woman marching toward my property line with a clipboard and measuring tape like she's about to inspect a crime scene. Linda Hartwell, late 50s, perfect gray hair that didn't move in the wind, lips permanently pursed like she'd just tasted something sour. "That boat is an eyesore," she yelled across the water. "It violates aesthetic standards." I cut the engine and drifted closer. "Ma'am, this is my private lake." She flushed red. "Our HOA covenant allows us to regulate visual pollution affecting property values." Visual pollution. It was a bass boat, not a nuclear submarine. "Lady," I said, climbing onto the dock, cedar planks creaking under my boots, "you have zero authority on my land." She scribbled on her clipboard like she was drafting war plans. "We'll see about that." And, oh, we did. Within 48 hours, she'd filed a complaint with the county claiming I was running a commercial marina. One guy fishing alone apparently equals a yacht club in Linda logic. She rallied 12 HOA members, posted my boat on Nextdoor, calling it an industrial eyesore, spread rumors at the grocery store that I was some entitled tech bro destroying their peaceful lake. The comments section lit up like a dumpster fire. Then came the inspectors. Noise complaints, environmental complaints, claims I was operating a guide service because, and this is my favorite, no one fishes that much without making money. I hired Sarah Chen, $3,000 an hour. Worth every penny. Sharp as a scalpel. Zero tolerance for nonsense. Within a week, she uncovered something that made my jaw drop. My original ranch deed from the 1960s granted exclusive rights to the entire lake. Not just my shoreline. The whole thing. And here's the twist: Lakeside Estates had been charging residents a $2,000 annual lake access fee for 5 years. For access they didn't legally have. $47,000 collected. Fraud territory. I started installing cameras. Quietly. 12 of them. Every launch point. Every dock angle. Within 2 weeks, I had footage of 23 separate trespassing incidents. HOA members launching kayaks from my ramp. Kids swimming off my dock, Linda giving lake tours to potential buyers like she owned the place. Meanwhile, she escalated. False 911 calls claiming I almost hit swimmers when the lake was empty. Her husband Bruce cutting my dock lines at 2 a.m. Caught in high definition. Someone dumped motor oil upstream. The smell of petroleum and clean water will turn your stomach fast. That's when the whole thing shifted from petty to criminal. Deputy Maria Santos wasn't amused. False reports are a misdemeanor in Texas. Repeat offenses, jail time. But the real game changer came from somewhere I didn't expect. 2 miles downstream sat Sunset Marina. Old Doc's faded sign, a 67-year-old owner named Frank Kowalski who looked like he'd been carved out of oak. His wife had passed from cancer. Medical bills crushed him. The bank was circling. Over coffee in his office, he said something that changed everything. "Son, your ranch holds senior water rights. You control the upstream flow for this whole creek system." I blinked. "What does that mean?" "It means," he said, sliding a yellowed 1892 document across the desk, "whoever controls your water controls every dock downstream, including the marina." Including the launch Linda's HOA had been illegally using for years. I didn't just own a lake. I owned leverage. I bought the marina in 7 days, $800,000 cash, no contingencies. Frank stayed on as manager. His grandson kept learning the ropes. We renovated docks, expanded the tackle shop, hosted veterans fishing tournaments. Then I let public records do their thing. Linda found out the day before her HOA meeting. Watching her discover she'd been harassing the man who now legally controlled her community's water access, that was television-level drama. Emergency HOA meeting, members resigning, questions about missing lake fees, panic setting in. She doubled down, hired a private investigator, contacted media, tried to smear me with old divorce blog posts from my ex-wife, even attempted to paint me as some villain hoarding natural resources. But facts are stubborn. We presented everything at a county commissioner hearing: property deeds, trespassing footage, recordings of false police calls, environmental reports showing water quality improved after stopping the dumping. Linda spiraled, accused county officials of conspiracy, claimed the evidence was fake. I quietly handed over a $50,000 check to fund environmental cleanup and local scholarships. "I'm not here to punish anyone," I said. "I'm here to protect what's mine and help this community." Applause. Unanimous vote in my favor. Linda was escorted out mid-rant. Bruce later pleaded guilty to criminal mischief. Community service cleaning up the very watershed he helped contaminate. Their house quietly went up for sale. 6 months later, Sunset Marina runs at 85% occupancy. Monthly tournaments raise money for veterans and kids. University researchers monitor our ecosystem recovery. Water quality is the best it's been in 20 years. Frank's grandson caught the biggest bass of his life off my dock last weekend, handed it to me grinning ear to ear. That moment, that right there, felt better than any acquisition deal I ever signed. Here's what I learned. Power without purpose turns people ugly. Linda didn't want the lake, she wanted control. She mistook authority for ownership. And when you build your identity around control, the moment you lose it, you unravel. But here's the flip side. Leverage doesn't have to destroy. It can build. I could have cut off their water overnight. I had the legal right. Nuclear option. I didn't. Because revenge is loud. But legacy is quiet. And sometimes the most satisfying victory isn't crushing someone, it's proving you didn't need to. So let me ask you something. If you had the power to legally shut down everyone who wronged you, would you pull the trigger? Or would you build something better instead? Where's the line between justice and revenge? Drop your thoughts below. And if you've ever dealt with an HOA nightmare or a petty tyrant who thought they owned more than they did, I want to hear your story. Because sometimes the only way to stop small-minded power trips is to shine a really big light on them.